Well, I think the perfect example is what happened in 2006, where you had large members of the House coming in, elected as Democrats in opposition to the war in Iraq, and the first thing Pelosi did was hold a caucus and tell them that they were all going to vote for funding for the war, and they did. If you defy the hierarchy of the Democratic Party, they will make sure you don't get reelected. And we saw this with Dennis Kucinich. I mean, I like Dennis, he's a friend of mine, but he sold us out on the health care bill. And because the punishment that the party meted out to him was so severe, he worried about losing his seat. Which is also, by the way, the reason that he won't run for president again. Because they've ganged up on him in his district, which normally is has been a safe district in Cleveland. So you defy the Democratic Party at your cost. And who threatened the Democratic Party the most within the last decade? It was my friend Ralph Nader in the year 2000. And the Democrats freaked out in 2000, and they, first of all, tagged him with this ridiculous idea that somehow, because he ran, he elected Bush. It's just factually not true. I think it was just, as Americans, we couldn't accept the fact that we'd become a banana republic. They invalidated 300,000 votes. Guess who they were? Almost all African Americans in Florida. They only recounted 2 counties and raced to the Supreme Court to stop the recount. And then the Supreme Court overturned all legal precedent and appointed Bush by fiat. The Democratic Party, I think, and figures like Clinton and Obama serve as a kind of pacifying force for all sorts of movements and progressive groups, because while they carry out the policies of the corporate state, we keep begging, Obama to be Obama. Which is about like writing letters to Uncle Joe Stalin and saying, if you only knew about all these purges in the Ukraine, you'd stop it immediately. Unlike George W. Bush, Obama is intelligent. He knows where the centers of power lie, and he has quite consciously served those centers of power at our expense. And look, politics is a game of fear. Popper also wrote in that great work, The Open Society of Enemies, that the question is not how do you get good people to rule. Most people attracted to power are mediocre, which is Obama, or venal, which is Bush. The question is how do you make the powerfully terrified of you? And that's what we forgot. It's something that Mother Jones and Big Bill Haywood understood.